Hello everyone. Today here we are going to discuss about the objects in JavaScript. In JavaScript, objects are the core part of the language and are used to store the collections of data, and functionally an object is essentially a collection of keywords where keys are strings and values can be any data type including other objects and functions. Here we are going to discuss about create, access and manipulate objects in JavaScript with examples. Here we are going to discuss about the creation. We can create the objects using literals, and here is the example. Here we can create the object using constructor. This is the example, and we can use object.create also. And here is the accessing of objects. Dot notation, the example of it, and we can use bracket notation also. And we are going to discuss about manipulating the objects. We can manipulate the objects using adding properties, modifying properties, deleting properties, checking for properties also. These are the syntaxes of all those. Key features like nested objects and methods in JavaScript objects and along with examples. Nested objects, as we know that an object is included in the within the other object is called nested object. This also allows hierarchical and structured data representation. Here is the example for that. We can access nested properties by dot notation and bracket notation. We can update the nested properties and we can add the nested properties. And we know that we can use methods in the objects. These are adding methods, calling the methods, using this in the methods. The key features are nested objects allow structuring complex data in a hierarchical way. Access them using dot notation or bracket notation. You can add, modify or delete properties within nested objects. Methods are functions inside objects. Use this to access the object's properties from within the method. Methods can manipulate both direct and nested properties. These features are fundamental to working within data and functionality in JavaScript objects. Here we are going to discuss about what are the functions that are included in JavaScript. A function in a JavaScript is a block of reusable code designed to perform specific tasks. Functions can take inputs, perform operations, and return outputs. They help organize modular errors and reuse the code efficiency. Here is the syntax for the function. It improves code readability and maintainability. Functions break to the code into the smaller, manageable pieces, making it easier to understand and debug. We can avoid repetition. By encapsulating repeated logic into a function, you add there to be don't repeat yourself principle. Modularity. Functions divide the code into logical sections, enabling independent development, testing, and debugging. Dynamic behavior. Functions make applications interactive and responsive by responding to user actions or events. Scope and encapsulations. Function help define scope, limiting variable visibility and reducing conflicts. Callbacks and higher order functions. JavaScript even driven nature relies heavily on functions, especially callback functions and higher order functions. JavaScript offers multiple ways to declare functions, each within its own syntax and use cases. Below a detailed explanation of the different ways to declare functions, including function declarations, function expressions, and arrow functions. Function declaration is, which means a function declaration is a named function. It is hosted, meaning it can be called before its definition in the code. This is the syntax for function declaration and the example of it. Here we use the hosting and readable. A function expression creates a function that can be anonymous or named. It is not hosted, so it cannot be used before it is defined. Arrow functions. An arrow function has a constant syntax used in ES6. It is often used for short functions and callbacks. Concept of this is different functions. The concept in this JavaScript depends on how a function is invoked and its behavior varies between regular functions, arrow functions, and specific scenarios like methods and even handlers. In regular functions, the value of it depends on how the function is called, global scope or function invocation. This in construction functions. When the construction function is called using the new keyword, this is referred to the newly created object. And here is the example: var, let, and constant variable declarations. We use these for the declaration of the variables in the JavaScript. Scoping rules and hosting behavior on a JavaScript. The JavaScript variables and functions are subject to scoping rules and hosting behavior, which determine the variable is accessible and how it is initialized before its declaration. Let's explore this in scoping rules: a global scope, a function scope, and a block scope. A hosting behavior is variables declared with var are hosted but initialized with undefined. Importance of modules and modern JavaScript are code organization, maintainability, usability, encapsulation, dependency management, and improved testing. Using ES6 modules in JavaScript, we can import and export in this ES6 modules. Here name can be exported. Importing name exports also there. We These are the examples for those importing and exporting. We can use modules in HTML. We can use ES6 module also in HTML. We can use the ES6 module in Node.js also. The real world example is given below. Advantages of ES6 modules are encapsulation, reusability, dependency management, and tree shaking. Thank you for watching my video.